So the origins of VPP, make some generalizations, I guess, but one of the main origins for VPP was around a microgrid use case where you had this small community or an island part of the network far away from the kind of generation assets and a need or a desire to be able to self-supply, to use some local embedded generation and their connected demand assets to balance within the community themselves and to use the energy that's generated and stored within that microgrid. And that was the, one of the first applications for a virtual power plant. Let's create our own small virtual power plant for our community or for our microgrid. And then as that started to catch on and people realized that you could create a power plant using distributed resources that are coordinated together, we started to see and are starting to see that concept being applied at a more larger scale, at a national level. There's some changes in the UK and Europe that are allowing aggregated resources to play into national markets. So that's taking that same concept and now applying it at a much larger scale and unlocking much more value and the potential for concepts like VPP. And I think, Matt will probably touch on it later, but FERC 2222 is a great example of how that's also playing out in the US and where VPPs are going to play an increasingly important role. And again, this is all about accelerating that transition to net zero at the lowest possible cost. And VPPs are a great tool. They're allowing you to participate with less friction and to maximize the value. And so the story we've seen in UK and Europe is it started small, but it's starting to be used at a greater scale. But there's more still to be done.